Hello, all of you beautiful creative minds. You might know me as No LaRusso, because that's my name. Welcome back to another episode of Make a Monster, where I show you my process in making a monster design to hopefully allow you to see what's going on in somebody else's head to help and strengthen your own designs. If you want to see these monster cards about a week before the video comes out about them, check out all of my social medias that'll be appearing on screen right now. This character is named Bramble, Thorn E Bramble to be exact. He's a crossbow-slinging badass that's also a rose person. These qualities come together to make a badass design no matter how you slice it, I'd think. Anyways, the idea for Bramble came from looking for a way to tell different roles apart within the Society of Nature's monsters. Attack class monsters, or guts as they're known in the universe, were going to be based off of venomous plants and other things like mushrooms and thorns, as well as carnivorous plants like Venus flytraps and the pitcher plant. Defense monsters, or blockers, would have been things like sturdy tree monsters or large mushroom or vegetables with hard exteriors like pumpkins or watermelons even. Things like that were easy to grow in large quantities to keep the society's defenses high. I knew one thing though, and it was that I really wanted to add mushroom people to the dark forest in the society. So I made my design for my very first gut monster, and it was a mushroom magician. His ability was to throw spores that grew into small mushroom people to overwhelm enemies and subdue them. I can't remember why exactly I scrapped the idea of an attacking mushroom monster, but I haven't come back to the idea ever since using it on this design. The Mushroom Magician's design becoming Bramble was through giving the magician a large roguelike collar covering up the bottom portion of their face. This design looks so cool and it made me think of those stupid frilly topped collar shirt things from the Victorian period. I'll put an image up on screen, but those things were very flowy and elegant. So that got me wondering what it would look like if it was a flower instead. So I made the design's collar a rose, and that's how Bramble started. Some elements were left over from the mushroom design, like the large hat and skinny neck, but instead I kinda horrified the design and based Bramble's costume more on Van Helsing's, specifically that horrible 2004 movie of Van Helsing. I don't know, I like the design, what can I say? There's some really great juxtaposition that I wanted to see in the design, with a feeble rose being a gunslinging hunter. This doesn't apply to all cases, but I think that there's a lot of nuanced ideas to be noticed when the design conventions and fundamentals of the subject you're incorporating into your design are flipped on their head. I think it shows how much you know about a symbol to then be able to represent it in different ways, like in this instance, flipping it right on its head. Okay, now here's my favorite part of making these characters, making the card itself. Now, ever since I was young, I would make trading cards, and for a long time, I'd do it digitally on Paint and make these big old sprites, and then add a background to them that I stole from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and I'd make a trading card that highly resembled the ones from Pokemon. This card's absolutely pointless. This card doesn't make any fucking sense. This literally doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to attack with a fucking Mesta that you haven't seen? That's literally just attacking for free for no fucking reason. This doesn't make sense. I was such a fucking idiot child. When I got really big into Cardfight Vanguard, that was the point when I decided to make my cards full art style with very little border. This carried over in today's cards, as the borders on these cards is loosely based on Cardfight Vanguards, as well as the skewed unconventional menu stylings in Persona 5. My biggest regret in the development of these cards is that they're too big for standard Ultra Pro card sleeves. Once I got to making more cards than the original 3, I thought it would be really awesome to see them all stored in a binder like a kid's Pokemon card collection. Plus, it doubles as a totally amazing collectible piece. One of my artist friends who I've had on the talk show before, Ben, taught me a lot about the presentation and atmosphere that goes into displaying your work. He would set up elaborate rooms to capture the feel of his living room as a kid, or he'd make a wall that resembled a classroom chalkboard and set up like a small desk area filled with knickknacks and shit that was reminiscent of what he liked when he was young. That's kind of what I'm aiming for going forward with the presentation of these cards. I want to be able to admire them for the art, as well as admire them as a fan of my own work, as completely narcissistic as that sounds, and be immersed by the multimedia story that these characters and their world are trying to tell. Kind of like how kids would collect Pokemon cards but not actually know how to play the trading card game. Like the goddamn posers they are. Going forward with this project, I'll either reshape the cards that I have now and continue with that format going forward, or I'll have to find an alternative to the Ultra Pro sleeves. God, you do not know how long it took me to say the word Ultra Pro. Holy fuck. If anybody knows an alternative that might work for my 3" by 5" cards that I'm using now, let me know in the comments. Or DM me on Instagram. I'll answer you wherever you feel like messaging me. I'm lonely. Alright, so I want to try and incorporate some live commentary here to kind of talk about what I'm doing with the card and kind of what I was thinking while I was making it. So right now, what I'm trying to do is get a fundamental understanding of the background values, and then from there, you're gonna see me layer it with some other colors. I'm gonna use like a blue, violet, and some other very dark blues to try and go over these colors and make them pop a little bit more with some hue. Now, I think I kind of fell short with that. I'm not very proud of this background. In this fundamental layout, as I called it, you'll see that there's almost a very clear understanding of what's going on in the background. But as this goes on, it's kind of lost. And I think that came down to using too many super dark values and not enough values that were lighter. The thing I do love about this piece, though, the moon that I've laid out here is absolutely amazing. I think it's incredibly beautiful. I've always had a weird thing with drawing moons. It's always been really fun to kind of cast the rays, and if you go really deep into my Instagram page at @NoLaRussoArts, I'm gonna keep plugging it until it's fucking driven into the ground. You'll find a piece full of bats, and there's a giant moon behind them, and that's kind of like where I got my my love for color in the moon and shit. So yeah, here you can see my background kind of starting to become super muddy and dark. And I switched to another piece of paper because I noticed that it was starting to really bleed badly on my mat, and usually I don't care about that, but it was just getting super dirty, and my thought was it was probably starting to seep and pool up, and that was probably why I was getting bleeds. You can actually see near the hat, and I know that the video quality is bad. That's because I keep upscaling 720p to 1080 like an idiot. But you can see on his hat that there's a little bit of red bleed, and you can see me here trying to paint this with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. It didn't work the way I wanted it to, but I'm gonna keep going back to the experiment to try it again. So I'm just shading in the moon, getting that really good feel so it feels like a moon. Right now it kind of looks like cheese, and I know that's a big stereotype for the moon, but it really does look like a big old ball of cheese right now, like a matzo ball. Right now I'm giving it a layer of white, and I usually do that when I want the lines to pop a little bit more. I think I did it a little bit too much on this piece, but there's some subtle touches around Bramble's neck and on his cloak that I really enjoy, and I think kind of made the piece really work, as it does look like he's illuminated by the moon behind him, and I really wanted that to come through. Thorn E Bramble is a descendant of the infamous Bramble family, known to be highly trained killers in the attack class line of duty. The Brambles built their name within the society of nature and in opposing societies for their confidence, competence, and poise during their large-scale outland beast hunt operations and historical attacks on rival societies, making use of their venomous thorns for a variety of effects during battle. Thorn is a very intelligent and well-spoken monster in the attacker class, and is one of the highest-ranking guts in the Society of Nature. His crucial involvement in orb capture raids is due to his incredible tactical planning and battle manipulation, working as a solo attacker to commit strategic cullings of enemies to be neutralized. Bramble's recent focus in the brigade is capturing beast-infested zones in the Outland for outposts and potential attack routes. Although Thorn prefers to work alone due to a conflict of personalities between him and his allies, his lack of teamwork does not jeopardize his standings in the brigade, as his success rate in missions outside of the society still rival that of teams consisting of Keeper-class monsters known as the coveted herb ritualists, that being parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Thorn looks to hone his skills while on beast hunts, using his paralysis-inducing thorns as ammunition for his trusted crossbow. Every monster's life is just as simple to take as a beast's. The only difference is beasts don't know I will be the last thing they ever see. Now let's go see what the boys in Discord think about this piece. Guys, I was just wondering, I've been working really hard on something, and I just want to know if you could look at it.
No.
No.
I'm just gonna send it to Discord. I just want you to
Okay, fuck you.
What?
That's like some Zach McCaskey type shit. Is that
That's-
your inspiration?
What
That's
is
really
it?
mean. I've been working really hard on that.
Yeah?
I can't believe you'd fucking say that.
I'm working really hard.
Wait, you made that?
Yeah, I made that.
You don't know what's amazing. I see the artistic value behind it.
Really?
Thank you.
I see,
Where did you get the photo from? Google or something?
You know what? Well, I see I've made a mistake. Well, thank you guys, and go fuck yourselves.